Well, from the I-Team tonight, it is the story thousands of you have been posting, tweeting, and talking about all day long. Our Fox 5 I-Team was the first to uncover dashboard video of 2 traffic stops conducted by Douglasville Police Chief Chris Womack.
Now, was he out of control or simply making the streets safe? We've seen both opinions expressed on Facebook and Twitter today, and our senior I-Team reporter Dale Russell is here now with more on the story. Dale?
Russ, a lot of talk already. Chief Womack's own policy states officers should be businesslike and courteous during traffic stops. Did the chief follow his own policy? You be the judge.
You think I'm picking on you because you're a car? No, I don't know what to get an attitude with me then.
This isn't your everyday garden variety road rage. Just listen.
I'd like to speak to Officer in charge, please. How are you, sir?
Pick up the phone.
Talking to the police department, don't yell.
I'm the chief of police. You got me.
Well, how am I supposed to know that, sir? You're yelling at me.
That's right. He's Douglasville Police Chief Chris Womack, and 2 of his traffic stops have caught our eye and upset citizens like this man. How did he behave when he came to the truck?
With a bad attitude, really bad.
Jared Bennett, a professional truck driver, was driving his rig in traffic. He says another driver in an unmarked car put his brakes on in front of him. He swerved into another lane, then saw the car's blue lights.
He started getting all irate and saying that he had his kids in the car. I cut him off.
Chief Womack's traffic stop wasn't on camera, but the patrol officer called to the scene had a dashboard camera. That's Chief Womack. While the officer is checking the tag, he hears the chief and driver yelling at each other and rushes over.
Get out of the damn truck.
It gets heated. The chief and Bennett are arguing, start yelling at each other.
I don't have to deal with him no more.
Bennett says he wants to deal only with the uniformed officer, who is calm.
Yes, sir. Guess what? I'm the chief of police and try again. I don't have to deal with him. Yes, you do. I'll stop you. This car really back up, please. Back up, please.
He pointed his finger at me like this and was yelling, probably louder than that.
Chief Womack says Jared Bennett was driving dangerously, had an attitude, wouldn't get out of his truck, and even flicked cigarette ashes that flew all over him.
I would want my patrol officers to act professional every time they make a traffic stop.
Would you want them to act the way you did in that stop?
They're not the chief of police, and all I would say is I'm not perfect.
After initially trying to fight the case, Bennett ended up pleading no contest. In 2012, Chief Womack made another traffic stop in an unmarked car. He says a driver nearly ran him and his kids off the road. So the chief pulled up alongside the man, held up his badge, and tried to warn the guy about his driving. The driver, Curtis Whitaker, didn't know who the chief was, so he called 911 to report road rage.
If I have a wild man yelling in a black Yukon behind me, in a T-shirt with dice hanging in the mirror.
He had no idea who you were.
Most human beings, and maybe not you, Mr. Russell, if somebody ran you off the road and you had your kids in the car, it may not affect you. But as a human, I have emotions.
It is a weekend, and Chief Womack is dressed in T-shirt and shorts. His own policy states, under no circumstances will an off-duty officer make a traffic stop unless they are in full uniform. Womack says Mr. Whitaker's driving was so dangerous, he felt he had to pull him over.
Do I make it a habit of ever stopping somebody when I'm not fully, dressed in what I would wear to work? No, I do not, because that is a bad idea. That was an exception.
Because of the way he was driving?
Yes.
You've almost hit 3 people.
Haven't hit anybody.
Because people are watching, you're all over the road.
The interaction goes on for more than 5 minutes. The chief is clearly agitated.
Hang up the phone. That's the last time I'm asking you.
At times, it seems like it's over. A uniformed officer steps between the 2 men at one point. Chief Womack leaves, but keeps coming back.
Give me a driver's license. I said it didn't happen.
Whitaker is ticketed for improper lane change.
I think people could look at that video and say, you look like a hothead.
Ask Mr. Thornton who I am then, because he'll tell you what. In fact,
I'm sure they could. I don't doubt that somebody could make that assumption.
if I hadn't got over the lane, you'd have hit me.
Now, what happened to the ticket from the driver that Chief Womack thought was so dangerous? The chief tells me the next day Mr. Whitaker asked for a meeting, apologized, and the chief dismissed it. Chief Womack says these are just 2 incidents, very unusual incidents during a 25-year-long career. We asked to review all the complaints filed against him, and the city told us there weren't any. Russ?
Well,
Sine?
As you know, Dale, there's been a lot of reaction from our viewers on social media today after you posted that. And we're getting a lot of reaction from Bob Harrison. Kudos to the chief, he says, for chewing this person out. Maybe he got his attention before he kills or injures someone.
Well, Rachel Champion says whether you're on the clock or not, it's your job to uphold all laws. A cop without the uniform is still a cop, people. Grow up.
From Judy Thompson, unprofessional and absolutely out of line. Chief, you handled this badly and used poor judgment. Your officers look embarrassed. So where does this go from here, if anywhere, do you think?
Well, that's a good question. It is ultimately a situation like this with Chief Womack or any police chief. It's up to his city council and his mayor for them to look at this and weigh in and decide whether they think it's appropriate or not a problem at all or a serious problem. And ultimately, they're the decision makers in this. We've seen the audience. The opinions vary. They're very strong in favor of the chief. They're very strong against the chief's behavior. It's a little bit, I guess, like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder.
All right, we'll see where this goes from here. Thanks so much, Dale.
Thanks, Dale.